Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Olivia, Olivia's Romantic Home, and in today's video I am so excited to share with you guys some DIY Dollar Tree spring and Easter decor crafts. So I love to share with you guys how you can make your home's boutique gorgeous on a budget, and I truly believe that y'all don't have to break the bank to have a fabulous, amazing home. So without further ado, let's go ahead and plug in those glue guns. Get out your glitter and paint and let's get to crafting.
I'm going to use this cute little pink Dollar Tree organizing basket and some burlap. So I'm just taking the burlap and I'm weaving it in and out through the little holes in the basket. Now, if you don't have the burlap, you could always use pretty much any ribbon that you have on hand. Or another idea that I have used before is to just cut some fabric strips in whatever colors you love and weave the fabric strips through the basket, so you guys can really get creative and make this your own. And if you don't have this basket, that's okay too. Dollar Tree will be setting out all different colors of baskets. You don't necessarily have to use this pink basket. So again, just get creative and make it your own. Now, I thought it looked super adorable with just the first layer of burlap, but I love to go super extra as always, and I decided to weave burlap through the entire basket, which made the task a little bit tedious, but by the end I was pretty happy with the outcome. So just continue to cut strips of burlap or fabric or ribbon, whatever you have on hand, weave it through your little basket, and you're going to make it look really kind of cute and high end. And in my opinion, this looked kind of like shabby chic, gave it like a little bit of a vintage flair. And again, this pink basket is from Dollar Tree and the burlap is from burlapfabric.com. You guys can really get burlap pretty much anywhere though. You can get it at Walmart or your craft store or whatever floats your boat, or you can just cut some cute little strips of fabric. So have fun with it, get creative, and go for it. Now here is how my cute little basket looked once it was all finished, and I decided to poke some holes in it. Now don't panic, this is actually going to go outside of my house in my little pinkish white bike, and I really don't want it to fill up with water because I am going to do a floral inside of it. So this is kind of like part 2 of this video, and that's Benji Bear you guys might hear in the background. So I'm taking one of these cocoa baskets from Dollar Tree and I'm also poking holes in it. Now I would think that like the water would kind of go through this, but I just wanted to make double sure because we are going to be getting a lot of rain in the month of March, April, and so I just want to make sure that the rain is able to kind of drain through here. Now to secure the foam down inside of the cocoa basket, I decided to take 2 shish kebab sticks because I didn't really feel like the foam would hot glue very well to the cocoa basket, and I also wanted it to be kind of windproof, so I used the shish kebab sticks to kind of skewer the piece of foam down inside of the basket. So these are just shish kebab sticks from the grocery store. You guys can probably find them at Dollar Tree in the kitchen section. The next thing I want to do is take some cute little Dollar Tree florals and pop them into my basket. So this is kind of part 2 of this DIY, is creating a cute little floral arrangement. Now, if you wanted to start with just the basket part, you guys could use that little basket for anything under the sun. But again, I'm going to go ahead and do this as a floral arrangement to pop outside. I have a really cute little bike, and so I've done several different kind of florals in my bike, and I've always used a tin, and the tin always gets kind of rusty, so I thought using a plastic container might actually work better and hopefully be a little bit more weatherproof. So these are just florals that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just using kind of the cascading wisteria. I used a pretty little tall flower in the center, and then I'm using like some little lilacs and some roses and some of these little spring berries. So I just wanted to make it look really springy and festive and Easter. So actually for these DIYs, I'm going to end up putting all of them outside of my house. Surprisingly enough, last week we were completely snowed in. It was so cold we couldn't go outside practically. This week it is actually in the 50s and 60s. So I'm taking advantage of this time, and I'm going to start my Easter spring decorating outside of my home. Usually I always start inside, like on my mantle or in my dining room, but this time I just could not resist the beautiful weather. And I do have two other little cute roses that I'm going to pop into the center of this. So this is just kind of like a little hack for creating florals. If you guys like kind of big over the top florals, is to use some more inexpensive flowers and then put just a couple of more high-end flowers sprinkled in your arrangement. And that way you don't have to spend like loads of money on a ton of really expensive flowers. The other thing I decided to pop into my cute little springtime arrangement was just some Dollar Tree speckled eggs, and that gave it really just kind of like some little Easter goodness. So have fun with it, get creative. The other thing is, a lot of you guys ask me what I do with my florals after the end of the season. I generally take them apart and then kind of rework everything. So here it is, popped into my cute little outdoor bike. You can see it. There's a little bit of wind, but look at that beautiful sunshine. It just made me so happy to feel the little bit of wind on my skin and the sun on my face. And then there's my pretty little spring flowers are popping out on the ground. And then there's Benji Bear saying hello to you all. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you all how to create a super adorable spring bonnet or spring hat. So you're going to take one of those little hats from the Dollar Tree, and then I'm just going to take and make a quick little Olivia bow. This is just kind of what I call this bow for reference, but you're just going to take and loop the ribbon over on itself about 3 to 4 times, and then pinch it in the center and then trim it off. And then I'm going to take a pipe cleaner and I'm just going to twist the pipe cleaner together, and that is going to secure my bow. And then the next thing I want to do is just fluffy out all of the little edges. And I did make this bow small enough to kind of fit on here, but large enough to kind of make it almost look like it could be kind of like a wreath, I guess, or just like a door hanger. I think these are so fun to do. I used to make these for my family when I was like a teenager. My grandma would save them and hang them all over her wall. I used to love to like make little hat wreaths. But anyway, you can take your pipe cleaner and just string it through the little Dollar Tree bonnet. It has like little holes in it that make it big enough to be able to pop that through, and then give it a bit of a fluffing. And then really you can add pretty much any floral or greenery that you want to. Now when I'm making a kind of floral arrangement, I always want to add my greenery first. And also don't forget to dovetail your ends, and that just means cutting a little triangle at the end of your ribbon. So you want to take, and for this I'm going to also make some tails. So I'm just taking some of the extra ribbon, I'm going to twist it to where both of the pretty sides are out, and then just tuck it gently up underneath the little bonnet, and then pop that ribbon underneath there. Be careful not to glue your fingers together. I got a lot of glue on my fingers today, but then see how I'm just taking the ribbon and I am cutting a little triangle in an upwards direction. So you just fold it in half, and so I'm going to fold it in half and then cut upwards. Always try to cut upwards, that way the scissor is moving away from your hand. If you cut in a downward motion, you could cut yourself. So that's just a little tip from me to you. Always cut upward and away from yourself. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is hot glue some greenery onto my hat, and that is just some pretty greenery that I picked up, I think from Michael's years ago. It was in my craft stash. Again, I repurpose and reuse everything pretty much every year, and then I will pick up some new things at the beginning of the season. I did add a pretty little rose into the center of my bow just to give it some nice little sparkle and shine and romance to my cute little bonnet, and then I'm just adding in some more lilacs and some beautiful florals to really jazz things up a bit. So here is how it turned out. I hung it next to my front door, and just a little close-up of how it turned out with the little cute little speckled eggs from Dollar Tree that I popped in there and the pretty blooming flowers. Oh, so ready for a spring sunshine time. Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you all how you can take apart one of the hanging Dollar Tree signs and make it into more of a banner. So they have this in store right now. It's just a little hanging Happy Easter sign. I pulled it apart, which is super easy to do, and then I'm just going to use a piece of this kind of nautical rope from Dollar Tree as well, and then I'm just going to hot glue the little eggs to the heavier duty piece of rope. My idea for this is to create like a little hanging banner to hang on the outside of my bike, and that way, or my little bike basket, but so that's just an idea for you guys. I know the hanging signs are really cute, but I needed to hang a different direction. Now to cover up that little hole in the center, I'm going to just take and make a quick little shoelace bow. So a shoelace bow is you just tie it like you'd be tying your shoelaces, and then I'm going to hot glue it to the top part of the Happy Easter little sign. And this was like such an easy, fun craft. Now the next thing I want to do is take some Scotch Guard. I ordered this off Amazon. I'll link some in my Amazon store in the description box below for you guys, but I think you can probably get it at most stores. And I Scotch guarded the outside of it, so hopefully it will stay a little bit more weatherproof. And then I'm just going to wrap it on my bike basket and tie it on to either handle. And then I just thought this was such a cute idea. One thing I do have a hard time with in my outdoor decor is we do live on top of a hill, and so the wind really likes to whip my decorations around. And so when I hang one of the Dollar Tree signs from this basket, it always ends up getting like whipped around. So hopefully I'm gathering this really tight that this is going to be a viable, great option for how to get this to hold on well. Now for the next DIY, I want to share with y'all how to make a very, very simple bow. We're just going to take some Dollar Tree wired ribbon, and you're going to take and loop the ribbon over on itself. And I slowed this down really good for everybody that's maybe never made this simple bow. And this is what I call the Olivia bow. If you guys are new, this is probably my most favorite bow to make. And if you guys have made this bow over and over, yay. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off a tail for this bow, and this is also going to wrap onto my little bike here. You might hear my little puppy dog in the background for this video. He is being very playful today. So the next thing I want to do is take that extra part with the tail, and you can also tie the center of the loopy bow off if you're not able to hold it, maybe a problem with your hands, but you can also just take this tail and tie the tail on the center by knotting it right here in the center. And that's just kind of a little hack if you're in a hurry and you just need to make like a really quick little bow. This is like the easiest, quickest little bow you guys could ever make. And this is a Dollar Tree bow, and it's going to come out really cute. There's no tools involved, and if you use wired ribbon, your little loops, as long as you fluff them out really nicely, they're going to stand up really well. Now don't forget to dovetail your ends by taking the ribbon, folding it in half, and then cutting going in an upwards direction. Always try to cut upwards, away from yourself and away from your hands. And then there you have that, a super easy, adorable bow on a budget. It cost you $1. You didn't even need any wire or hot glue or anything like that. And so here is how this all looks put together outside in my little bike for springtime. I think it's so festive and happy, and I have little neighbor kids that always kind of stop by my house to say hey and to say hi to Benji Bear, and so I just thought this would make them smile, and it just brightens up my front yard. Definitely what we need after all these long winter months. For the next DIY, I want to share with y'all how to make a super adorable spring Easter wreath, and we're going to start out actually with this evergreen wreath base and a roll of Dollar Tree deco mesh, and I'm just taking the deco mesh and I'm crisscrossing the evergreen branches over on the deco mesh. Now you guys could use a Dollar Tree wire wreath form and just take your deco mesh and make the little bundles. That would work too, but I didn't have actually a wreath form on hand, believe it or not. But I did have this evergreen wreath form on hand. So if you guys have any old Christmas wreaths laying around, this might be the perfect opportunity to repurpose and reuse your Christmas wreath. So again, I'm just taking my deco mesh and I'm making like little 8 to 12 inch poofs, crossing them over on themselves, and then moving on to the next section. The next thing I wanted to add was some burlap. I feel like burlap is such a fun thing to use in springtime. And so again, I'm just using the same idea as I did with the deco mesh. I'm just kind of crisscrossing it over the spaces where I didn't have any pink mesh. So I'm just using some burlap and I'm crossing the evergreen branches over on themselves. Not a huge rhyme or reason to how I'm doing this, just kind of trying to cover some of the evergreen. So here is what the wreath looks like after I have added some deco mesh and some burlap. Now the next thing I'm going to do is add this cute little Easter bunny Dollar Tree sign to the center of my wreath. Now I will tell you guys that I was only able to find this Easter sign and then like a round bunny egg sign for signs this year at Dollar Tree. I'm not sure if our store didn't get them in or if maybe I missed the boat, which is completely could be the case with all the snow and ice. I didn't get out much at all. So anyway, I'm just taking a pipe cleaner and I'm hot gluing this pipe cleaner to the back of my sign. And I'm just using a Dollar Tree tag to put on top of that to get that to stay on. And that's just a little sign hack that I have for you guys, is to add a pipe cleaner to the back and you can try it directly onto your wreath and it'll look like it's floating. So the next thing I want to do is just use some purple mesh and kind of create some bundles. I wanted to add in some purple color to this wreath. There's so many colors going on my little sign. I just felt like it needed a little bit more color. So I'm making really large bundles and I'm just going to say just fill your hand. So this is like a fill your hand bundle. You could take and make smaller bundles if you wanted, but I was kind of just wanting to like really throw some mesh at this. And so I wasn't being like super super particular on it. The next thing I want to do is for this one, I want to use my Easy Bow Maker and some of this really cute pink buffalo check plaid ribbon, and I'm going to make a cute little bow. So I'm just going to go back and forth. This is going to be about an 8-inch bow if you're using an Easy Bow Maker, or you could just make a cute little Olivia bow. And then I'm going to add in this Dollar Tree egg ribbon. And again, I'm just doing one loop of each ribbon on here. Also, though, still trying to get in all the colors that are in this cute and adorable little sign. And then last but not least, I did add in this pretty turquoise ribbon, and I did pick this up at Michael's. So I know it can be difficult to find seasonal ribbon at Dollar Tree. I know some of you all have been posting in my Livy's Romantic Home Facebook group page that Walmart has out some Easter ribbon, so definitely check there. And also, again, like your Michael's or Hobby Lobby, you may find some cute little ribbon there as well. So I'm just going to take and tie this off in the center now with a pipe cleaner, and then here is what that bow looks like. And also, when you're working with like a mesh wreath or a wreath that's like an evergreen wreath, you want to make your bow kind of fluffy and large. That way, because the bow is going to kind of sink down into your wreath. So that's just a little tip, so you can pull your loops out and have plenty of ribbon. When I first started doing these wreaths, I would make my bows kind of small, and then I would lose like a lot of ribbon down inside of there. So fluffy up your bow and make it nice and pretty. And then the other thing is I did make 2 of these bows. I like to put one on the top and then one kind of catty corner to the bottom on the other side. Don't forget to dovetail those ends, make the ends of your ribbon nice and pretty, and just really have fun with it and get creative. So here's bow number 2, and bow number 2 is just like the first bow. So it's super easy. Again, use your Easy Bow Maker, or you can make an Olivia bow, and I do have a bow video linked down in the description box of my YouTube video. Now give it a nice good fluff-a-duff, pull those loops out, fluff them around. That's really going to be the secret to your bow. Also, the secret is to use wired ribbon as much as you can. The next thing I want to do is take some of those little hanging eggs and put some little pipe cleaners on the back, and then I'm going to attach those into the wreath. You could also take some of your extra ribbon and push that into the wreath to kind of fill it out just a little bit. And I did end up making like kind of some more loopy bows to fill it out even more. I just love tons of bows. I think they look so pretty. It's just my thing, and it's just so happy. And so really, you guys, however many bows you like, I think that's what you guys should use. I like tons of bows, so I usually ended up adding about 3 to 4 to 5 bows. And then here I'm just adding in some of those cute little eggs. And again, the eggs are from the hanging signs on Dollar Tree, from Dollar Tree. I just love to take them apart, and then that way they're so easy to pop into pretty much any wreath. And then the next thing you might want to think about if you want to continue to add to a wreath like this is to put in some florals. So again, I had some spring florals in my little craft stash. I believe these came from Hobby Lobby, like in a bundle, and I just cut them all apart. No, actually, I'm sorry, these came from Walmart. So these were from Walmart, but they came like in, 5 or 6 were on the bundle of flowers. And so now I'm just hot gluing them into my wreath, because I am most likely going to use this outside, and so I want it to stay really well. And then I also wanted to add one of those cute little Dollar Tree Easter bunny heads to the top. And so I think it's coming out rather nicely. I did end up adding like some little berries up to the top and then down at the bottom, and again, a little bit more bows. Now remember, I told you guys at the beginning of this video that there would be a secret question in this video. So here's the secret question. What is the first flower or tree or plant in your yard or garden or outside of your home that blooms? So for me, it's going to be those little irises and daylilies that you're going to see popping up out of the ground that I'm sharing pictures with you guys of. Those are the first things that come out. And then I have a tree that's a redbud tree in my front yard that's so beautiful. It actually has like pinkish purple blooms, which is so perfect for my front yard. I can't wait to share that with you guys as well. And then also comment and let me know, what was your favorite DIY in this video, and which one will you be recreating? I just love to hear what you guys are up to, what you're interested in crafting, and I just love y'all so much, and I want to encourage you guys to keep up the good work, just crafting and decorating and having fun. And don't forget to join me over on my group page and on Facebook, and that way you guys can share photos of your Easter wreaths and home decor. And again, it's just a blessing and honor to have you guys here.
Dollar Tree DIY crafts that we made. It is a beautiful moss basket. I was going to use it in my living room, but it sheds really bad, so I'm hoping to contain it and pop it in up here. It's going to give this space some height. And I have another little fun piece that I want to grab to put up here as well. So I found this grapevine decor piece. It was $3 at the thrift store, and they actually had it half off. I grabbed it because I knew I could use it for some kind of decorating idea. So I'm gonna try and see if I can pop it up here just to give me something to kind of attach some florals and whatnots to. Now, it may be tilting that basket way too far forward and taking up way too much space. I think I'm gonna have to do something different. That's not gonna work for this spot here. What do you guys think about that? Let's see. That looks kind of crazy, but we're gonna work with it for now. I also have this lamb's ear that I grabbed. I believe this was from Michael's, and I'm just going to kind of loop that in. I feel like lamb's ear is really nice for kind of like that spring Easter vibe. I've got my little hippity hoppity bunny, and I think she would sit really cute up in the basket possibly.
So unfortunately, Mrs. Hippity Hoppity Bunny dislocated one of her legs trying to hop into that basket, so she hopped back out of the basket and onto the little white shelf where she was able to nestle down into some greenery.
I have another moss basket that was like a DIY sometime back, and it was a Dollar Tree DIY. It sheds everywhere, but you guys can see this is just a little plastic heart basket left over from Dollar Tree. I kind of want to tilt it out of this way and pop it in just to give it kind of that really pretty like little spring vibe.
So for this display, I just continued to add in some little bunnies. Now the shelf is rather narrow, and so I have to kind of be creative on how I get them to stay. And then I just added in some pretty florals and some other Dollar Tree DIYs with that little checkered carrot. I'm going to link the rest of those Dollar Tree DIYs that I shared with you guys in my I Love Spring series. And here's that little checkered bunny from Dollar Tree that we painted in my last video. And so this little dining room shelf has a blooming spring floral, and it kind of works into my living room because we have an open floor plan, so you can see directly from the living room into the dining room. And it's why I always try to make everything kind of cohesive and also just really blooming and beautiful. Now it's time to share with you all a DIY on how to decorate a chandelier in a springtime fashion. I'm starting out with this beautiful lamb's ear garland, and I picked this up at Michael's, I believe, and all of their spring florals are about 40% off right now, so you can get a pretty good deal. And I really love the looks of this lamb's ear. It's just so soft and beautiful, and I secured it at the top of my little chandelier, and then I kind of let it cascade down, making sure to avoid any areas that might get tripped up in the actual chandelier part. And then I just felt like that was going to be so beautiful and blooming. I just wanted it to really feel festive and springtime kind of gardeny goodness in here. And then the next thing I did was, after I had the garland attached, is I just took some flowers and wrapped flowers around the edges of the garland. So you can just take and bend your little Dollar Tree flowers around the edges of your garland, and you can get really creative with this. And when I start doing a project like this, I don't go out and buy a lot of new florals. I really dig into the bottom of my craft stash bucket and just try to find the remaining flowers that I used from my shelf and from my mantle decor, and that way everything is cohesive, but I'm also really getting 100% use out of all of the florals that I bought this season. And here is how my blooming chandelier floral is looking so far. For the next DIY in this video, I want to share with you all how to create a super easy floral arrangement. So this is almost like a hack. So I had gone to Hobby Lobby and found these beautiful blooming peonies for 50% off, and I bought 2 sets of the peonies and then 2 sets of the multicolored florals, and these are already on their stems. So if you don't have time to cut stems off and arrange them, you can just buy several bundles, kind of fan them out. As you guys can see that I'm doing with my fingers, I'm kind of fanning them out, and then you just kind of twist them in to the next bundle. And these are actually flowers that I had left over from Valentine's Day. So when I bought these flowers, I really made sure to buy them to where I bought the right colors that they could transfer from Valentine's Day into spring. And I feel like with the vibrant mix here, I can even use these into summer. And the other little tip I have for you is I have this beautiful Mackenzie Childs little pitcher, and I will tell you that they do a barn sale and a clearance sale, and their items are rather pricey, but you can pick these up on a clearance sale and get a lot better deal. So that was a little splurge that I made last year for all the hard work that I do, because I really wanted one of these pitchers to have something to make a really beautiful floral with. So every once in a while, it's okay to treat yourself here and there, especially if you work really hard to shop a clearance sale or get the items when they're 50% off, which is what I always do when I'm looking for something that's a little bit more high end. So as you guys can see, I'm just kind of finishing up this floral, and I did pull 1 or 2 of the flowers down, and that way it looks like they're fresh flowers and almost blooming over. So for the next DIY, I want to share with you all how to create a beautiful springtime blooming Easter tablescape, and I'm starting out with this beautiful, it's a paper plate from the Pioneer Woman Easter series, and also these napkins, and you guys can find these available at Walmart right now. And check it out, there's a brie and broccoli quiche recipe on the inside of this napkin, so you're not only getting a beautiful napkin, you're also getting this amazing recipe from the Pioneer Woman herself. And so I just love that, having dual purposes on items. Now these cute little bunny plates were from Hobby Lobby, and again, all of their Easter and spring decor is 40% off, and I did go ahead and pick up the little bunny ear napkin rings to go along with it. And to set my beautiful Easter spring tablescape, I'm going to pop the flowers into the center. I decided to also use this cake plate, which I love to do, to add to the centerpieces of my tables, and it was $5, the Target dollar spot. I'm going to pop this in here so I can give some height and dimension to some of these candlesticks that I'll be adding. This is that DIY Dollar Tree egg topiary that we did. I'll leave my I Love Spring series in the description box if you guys need to go catch up on any of the DIYs that we've done so far. And here's some pretty little Hobby Lobby candlesticks that I found on 80% off. And then those little flickering flameless candles are amazing. They're battery operated, so don't panic when you see me nestle these candles into this arrangement. They're completely fine to use in and around your flowers because they're just battery operated, and they're great if you have pets or kids and you don't want to risk accidentally leaving a candle on, which sometimes it's hard for me to remember to blow my candles out, so I really love these, and they just make a really soft romantic glow. And then now I'm just going to add in some little goodies. These are those little Dollar Tree decoupage bunnies that we created, again just using some pretty napkins and Mod Podge, and Mod Podging those Dollar Tree styrofoam bunnies. These little checkered eggs came from Hobby Lobby, and then some of these $1 Target dollar spot carrots. So I'm just kind of creating a really whimsical blooming Easter spring tablescape. I wanted this to just scream in cheerfulness and just so many fun goodies. Now this little goodie I found at Tuesday Morning. I've had so many of you all ask me about this. I don't have a DIY on this, again because I did find this at Tuesday Morning. It was a pretty good deal, and it looks to me like something that, you know, Mackenzie Childs would put out, but not the Mackenzie Childs prices at Tuesday Morning. You can really find some high-end goodies there for a pretty budget-friendly price if you hunt long enough. Now these little chargers I got at Hobby Lobby last year, and they were on a big clearance sale as well. I'm just going to add them to pull in that black and white, and I just think that the stripes are really fun and festive and a little bit unexpected for an Easter spring tablescape. And then the next fun thing that I wanted to add was these little Pioneer Woman melamine plates. They're actually plastic, and I just wanted to use them to layer underneath the little bunny plate. And I realized later that I needed to probably have used the smaller bunny plate on top of this, but you guys can still get the effect or look of this. And I just think that these Easter bunny plates are beautiful. I think it's a fun thing to do, to buy Easter plates or seasonal plates, and if you can find some nice paper ones, then you're not storing a bunch of seasonal plates. Even though there's nothing wrong with having seasonal plates, I just have a really bad habit of kind of hoarding and collecting too many dishes, and we have a really small kitchen with very limited storage space, so I just really have to be careful on the choices that I make. So I'm adding in these cute little checkered cups, and then my little bunny plates off to the side, and that way if you were going to have bread and butter on your Easter table or some kind of little treat off to the side like a dessert treat, but really more than anything they just look super adorable and so festive, and these will be easy to store because they're rather small. So I hope this gives you guys some fun ideas on how to create a beautiful little Easter tablescape using some of the items that we've crafted so far, and then some of the items that I picked up at a pretty good bargain. And then that beautiful candelabra you all see is from the thrift store. Now the next cute little DIY I thought would be fun to share with you guys is I have this longer napkin, and I'm going to pop it into my napkin ring, But because my plate is so beautiful, my little paper plate, and these are paper napkins, but I didn't want to cover up the plate, so I wanted to share with you guys a quick little hack or trick on how you can do that. You can leave the napkin all the way unfolded and then just slide it onto the edge of your plate and then just gently tuck the edges of the napkin under, leaving the beautiful bunny parts exposed, but then your guests can still access their napkin easily, and they look really beautiful on the table, so everything is still shown. I really hate to cover up any of those pretty bunnies. Now the next little hack or DIY I wanted to share with you guys is I bought this beautiful candelabra at the thrift store, and I found these cute pink candles at Hobby Lobby, and to get my candles to stay upright and not wobble around quite so much, I'm just taking the candle and dripping a little bit of wax down into the bottom of it. That way the candle can kind of adhere to the candelabra a little bit better. Now this wasn't foolproof. I did have to do a couple of them twice. So let me know if you guys have any other ideas for me on how to keep my candles from wobbling around, but this seemed to work fairly well once I got them all to stay. The other thing is be very careful when you're doing this. I do have like a disposable plate underneath this candelabra. That way I'm not going to drip any wax onto my pretty tablescape or any of my goodies. Also, if this is something that you need to be careful with around your kids or pets, because I do have a lit flame. So just a little side note on that. But then now, how pretty and festive are these pretty pink candles? And I will just mainly probably light them for a special event. So fun and fabulous, and springtime goodness and joy. Now the next little fun DIY that I included in this video is how to make a quick little bundle of some greenery and florals. I'm taking some Dollar Tree little florals here, and I have about 5 or 6 little stems, and I just pulled them together in a bundle with my hand, and then I'm tying them off with a pipe cleaner. So just gather a little bundle of flowers. These are some Dollar Tree lilacs, and again some just little white spring flowers, and then I gathered them together with the little pipe cleaner, and now I'm just going to pipe cleaner them on to the base of this candelabra. And this candelabra is really tall, so I felt like they would be just fine to be down here at the base of the candelabra. And again, I'm probably only going to light these candles like on a special occasion or when I'm sharing with you guys something in this video, just to make it look really romantic. But the pink candles are so pretty, I really would hate to burn them, so I do want to save them. The next thing I decided to do was create a pretty little bow to kind of tie in some of the festive spring colors, and also to cover up my pipe cleaner down there. So I found this ribbon at Walmart. Again, I'm running so low on my Dollar Tree ribbon because I've done so many crafts for you guys already. So I just grabbed this little ribbon and I made a quick little bow, and then I'm going to tie the bow on with just another kind of piece of ribbon here. And I'm trying to really kind of conserve the rest of my Easter ribbon because I still need to do a garland on the outside of my home to show you guys. I love to do a big pretty front door garland that we can take pictures for Easter at. And so anyway, I'm just tying this on over where the pipe cleaner is. That way you guys can't see, or the pipe cleaner part can't be seen. And then I'm going to dovetail the end of my ribbon by cutting in an upwards direction to create like a little boutique finished on the end of that. Now I'm going to use some of this pretty check ribbon, and again I'm just going to take the ribbon, loop it over on itself, pinch it in the center, and tie it onto the center part of that bow. And then I have kind of this blooming candlestick, and it will be very easy to pop in and around any space. Now for this video I did share with you guys the candlestick on my table, but I ended up taking it and putting it up on that pretty little shelf that we decorated earlier in this video, just to kind of get it out of the way. It was a little large to go all the way on this table for regular everyday use, but it did turn out really festive, and the addition of the bows and the spring greenery was so nice. For the next DIY, I wanted to share with you guys how to make a super fun, easy little Easter tree. And this would be so delicious and fun to make with your kiddos or grandkids, but we are going to make Easter peep corn. So you want to start out with some popcorn, and I just chose this microwave kettle corn because it was not super heavily buttered. You want to try to get some that's like doesn't have a whole bunch of butter on it. The next thing I want to do is take a tablespoon of butter and melt it into a saucepan. And if you're having kiddos help you with this, help them with this part. The next thing I did was take my popcorn and separate it out into two different bowls because I want to do two different colors of peep corn. And so it was roughly about 3 cups per bowl, and you could measure it if you wanted to, but I didn't really feel like that was necessary. I just decided to eyeball mine. Also, you can pick up Peeps at Dollar Tree, or you can pick up the Bunny Peeps at Walmart for about $1.24 a pack. And you want to add 5 to 6 Peeps per saucepan mixture. So I'm starting out with 6 Peeps for my pink Peeps, and we're just going to melt the little Peeps down and then pour the melted pink Peeps over the popcorn to make a delicious peep corn. And it was pretty fun and satisfying, and a little bit sad to watch the Peeps melt into the pan, but I think this would be so fun to make with kiddos and just help them. The other tip is to watch out for heating your saucepan a little bit too hot, because you don't want your Peeps to turn like brown. So now once my Peeps had melted and they're all gooey, you want to quickly just dump them over your peep corn, and you can use a spatula to kind of scrape the rest of the little marshmallow goodness out of here. And then you can kind of give it a bit of a stir, and it is going to be fairly sticky, so just a side note on that. But I thought this was so fun and easy, and you could add more or less Peeps depending upon how heavily you wanted your peep corn to be coated with the marshmallow goodness. Marshmallow's pretty sweet, so if you wanted it less sweet, just take out a couple Peeps, and if you wanted it more sweet and almost to make into a popcorn ball, you could add in more Peep marshmallow. So give it a bit of a stir, and then you'll be ready to choose a fun little container. I found these super adorable little Easter cupcake liners, which I thought would be the perfect thing to make and use for some peep corn if you're going to be serving it to kiddos or grandkids or just your family in general. I know my hubs came home and had some, and my daughter loved it. So I'm just going to take it and pop it into the little cupcake liners. And so I did end up doing a set of pink and then also a set of purple. Walmart also has really cute serving cups that are like 4 to 5 to a pack that are a little bit larger. And then even I found some really beautiful ones at Dollar Tree yesterday. So just a little side note for you guys on that if you're looking for like super adorable little serving cups. Now I created some purple peep corn, and I'm going to pop that into my other cups so it kind of looks like purple, pink. And then even if you wanted to go a step further and make this even more festive, you could pop in some M&M, peanut M&M or regular M&M in the Easter candy colored flavors, and you could add sprinkles. I mean, really, you guys could get so creative with how you want to do your peep corn. Now here's those cute little serving tins that I was telling you about. Actually, they're little cardboard cups. They come in a whole pack at Walmart for 94 cents. Dollar Tree also has some really beautiful pastel little serving cups as well. But I'm just going to go ahead and pop in some of my peep corn, and I decided to mix in some of the purple and pink and just how festive. And I just felt like this was so fun and easy. And I think it's magical to watch like things melt down, even though it was a little bit sad that my peeps kind of had to, you know, be melted down, but still so fun. And you can see that they kind of stick together pretty easily. You could almost make a good little popcorn ball out of this as well. So I hope you guys got some inspiration for how to make some DIY peep corn. And of course, peeps come in blue, pink, purple, yellow, so you could do peep corn for boys and peep corn for girls. And this would just be such a fun little easy party snack. You could package them in some plastic. And here's an idea too, if you wanted to add in some little Easter candy sprinkles. They have these at Walmart for $1 and some change, and they just make everything look really cute and festive. I love the pastel colors again. And then here's also an idea if you wanted to use like some candy coated Easter pink or pastel M&Ms. They have them with the peanuts in them, and then they also make pastel Easter M&Ms without peanuts. So, you know, if you wanted to jazz it up even further, comment and let me know what your favorite little Easter fun treat is. But I just thought this would be a cute one to share and rather budget friendly. So for the next idea I have is to create peeps in a basket. So I took one of these larger Walmart containers, and again, this was, I believe, 98 cents. And I'm just going to take some Easter grass and pop some Easter grass into my little container. You guys could really use any container or Easter basket. And then these little peeps are at Walmart for $2.97, and I actually bought them for all of my kiddos for Easter, but I couldn't resist popping them out and using them. And my kids are in college, and my daughter, the youngest one, is in junior high, so they won't really see these until Easter time. So I thought it'd be just a fun little DIY to share with you guys, to do some peeps in a basket. You know, when they were little, I used to always love to decorate, very whimsical and fun, and I really still do. So I just thought this would be so fun and an easy way to just do a little DIY. So you could do this with your kiddos and grandkids as well. You know, just popping some Easter basket grass in, and then popping all your little cute, fun, colorful peeps in. And then I'm going to get dual purpose out of them, and they're going to receive these in their Easter baskets as well. And yes, I still make Easter baskets for my college age kids. I don't know. It's just something I'll probably do. I may do it until they have grandkids, or who knows. Benji Bear will probably get an Easter basket, as well as Tinky. They'll get some little pet treats. So anyway, there you guys have that, a fun little DIY, inexpensive little Easter peeps in a basket. And then they looked really cute, popped in next to my peep corn. I think that's so fun, peep corn. Who knew? DIY peep corn. So adorable. And then here's just how everything looks together. And then the little welcome peeps sign was from Dollar Tree. So here is just an overview of how the entire tablescape turned out. This is really kind of over the top and whimsical. I almost wanted it to feel like it was like an Alice in Wonderland tablescape, and just really beautiful. And I wanted to give you guys so many different creative ideas. I feel like this year I just want everything to look really happy and fun. And I also wanted to share with you all how I incorporate a lot of my Dollar Tree DIYs. So you guys see me craft and create these DIYs before the season starts. Kind of, we get started really early crafting all these DIYs, and then this is how I use them. I'll kind of store them out in like a little storage closet, and then once it's time to fully decorate, I bring them in and really use them in and around my home. So there's the little checkered bunny we created, the little Easter egg topiary, the little Easter bunnies, that little Dollar Tree basket. All of these are all Dollar Tree and Trash to Treasure baskets. And there's that little bunny. That was just a little plastic bunny. That is in my last video. And then there's those Dollar Tree wooden carrots. So a lot of you all ask me what I do with my decor. I decorate with it. All of the DIYs that you all see me make, for the most part, I completely decorate with them unless I am giving them away to a friend or a family member. Share with y'all how to make a super adorable Happy Easter sign. Well, actually, we're just going to take one of the Happy Easter signs from Dollar Tree and super jazz it up. So I'm taking some of these eggs that I detached from a Dollar Tree hanging sign, and I'm just going to hot glue them to the base of the little Happy Easter sign. Now the Happy Easter sign was super adorable as is, but it looked like maybe it was left over from last year's DIY and part of it was missing. I like to take things apart, you guys, but then I hang on to things because I think they're cute and I'm going to use them for later. So here is our use for later. Anyway, I tied a quick little shoelace bow with this Dollar Tree. It's kind of like a ticking striped ribbon. I love it. It's in their crafting section. You guys need to check their crafting section for some of their new ribbon. And I'm going to hot glue that around my little bunny neck. So now I've created this kind of 3D effect at the base of the sign with some eggs. Then I want to create a pretty little floral up at the top. So I'm just taking some of these little Dollar Tree florals and I'm going to hot glue them to the corner of the Happy Easter sign. Now this step is optional, but you guys know that I really love my florals and my bows, and so I'm also going to take some Dollar Tree ribbon, and this is just the cute little burlap polka dot ribbon. I'm going to add a little dibble dabble of hot glue here, and then I'm going to kind of ruche the ribbon. So I'm going to create these little loops and just push them in to where I had hot glued. So this is kind of a fun little hack, especially if you're doing like a swag or a corner part of a sign, is just kind of ruche the ribbon. That way it kind of cascades over that edge, but we don't want to actually cover up the happy part. So be sure when you're doing this that you're checking like the edging of where your letters are so you don't end up covering that up. The next thing I thought to do was, hey, let's look a little bit more fun and fabulous with some embellishments. So I'm adding in this cute little Dollar Tree carrot, and I'm just going to hot glue that to the center part here. And then I'm going to add these cute little eggs. These are Dollar Tree speckled eggs, and then just some of the little foam glitter balls. Now what I'm really doing is I'm kind of using up the rest of the last of my Easter crafting supplies. I really love to try to get the most use out of all the supplies that I've purchased and create as many things to really deck out my home and make them fun and fabulous on a budget using mostly Dollar Tree supplies. So anyway, that's how we're doing this fun little sign, and I think it's looking super adorable, jazzy, and really kind of boutique-y. I popped it outside on my little garden bench, and I can't wait to share with you guys how I'm going to do more of these little fun outdoor kind of porch Easter designs, just to give you guys some ideas on how you can jazz up your home on a budget. You really don't have to go out and spend a ton of money, especially if you already have some little crafting goodies you've been kind of saving back. So as you can tell, it's a nice spring day. We have a bit of a breeze and we have loads of sunshine. Now over the weekend, we had a ton of rain, but we had this nice, beautiful day. So I took advantage of it, hopped out onto my porch and decorated. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to show you guys how to take this little pink Dollar Tree. It's just kind of like a little shopping basket or storage basket. And I popped 2 little dumbbells, like little arm weights, down into the bottom of it. That's going to help keep it on my little front garden bench outside of my home because I don't want it to blow off. We do get a lot of wind. And so anyway, now to fill this out but not use any foam, I'm taking these branches of the florals and I'm pulling them apart. So they're going to kind of cascade over the side of the basket. I'm using Dollar Tree wisteria, some lilac branches, and some other pretty little florals, and see how I'm just like kind of pulling out the branches and then kind of pushing them in, and they're going to almost kind of gather and stay held together on their own. We're hoping anyway. I used a mix of pink and purples and whites. It's what I'm going for out on my front porch with loads of pastels. I want this porch to feel happy and alive and bursting forward with bright spring colors because that's what actually blooms in my garden. So I'm layering the florals in. Again, I kind of want to go every other one with the florals and just kind of cascade them in with each other and mix them in. I hope that makes sense. But again, loads of bright spring colors. That's what my little front porch garden looks like. I have daffodils and daylilies that begin to bloom first. I have this beautiful redbud tree that actually blooms these pretty pink purple flowers, and my whole front yard is going to come alive with purple irises. And so these decorative pieces for me really mix in with what naturally are going to be going on outside of my home, and I'm going to share with you guys along the way some different little pretty clips of what's blooming out in my front yard. Now I'm just going to take one of these little Dollar Tree Easter eggs, and I just had hot glued like a little pipe cleaner to the back, and that way I could twist it onto the little handle here. And then I'm just going to reuse some little Dollar Tree ribbon. I'm going to make a quick little loopy bow here, and I'm going to tie on the loopy bow with some of this yellow polka dot ribbon from Hobby Lobby. I will admit I did have to supplement some of my Easter ribbon with a little bit of Hobby Lobby and Michael's ribbon and a little bit of Walmart ribbon. So I just picked up like a roll or two at all the different places to kind of zhuzh up my Easter decorating, because I really did not hit the jackpot this year at Dollar Tree with their ribbons section. So either somebody, found some before mine, or my store just sold out quickly, or maybe my store didn't even get in a whole bunch this year. I'm not totally for sure. But again, I did find some pretty Easter ribbon at Walmart, a couple of little goodies at Hobby Lobby, and then I think I may have gotten one at Michael's, or it may have been left over from last season. But here is how it looks. So fun and fabulous. Now it's going right along with this garland I'm going to share with you. This pretty little hat that we did. It's a Dollar Tree hat that we zhuzhed up and jazzed up. And again, it's a blooming floral, and I can't wait to share with you guys how my yard starts to bloom and mix in with these pretty decor pieces. Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with y'all how to make a super fabulous over-the-top Dollar Tree deco mesh garland. So I'm starting out with some deco mesh that I found at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut about 12-inch strips, and I'm using my little can of beans to kind of hold on to the mesh so I can get an easier cut. And once I have my little 12-inch strips cut, I'm just going to set them aside, and I'm going to take some pipe cleaners and cut them in half. That way I can get the most use out of my pipe cleaners for this project, because I'm going to need quite a few bundles. I want to do an over-the-top garland on my front door. So the next thing I want to do is take my deco mesh pieces and roll them up like a little burrito and pinch them in the center. And I want to do 3 little burrito rolls for each bundle. So I have 3 little roll-ups here, and then I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and just tie that off. So you want to twist tie it pretty tightly in the back and then set that aside. And I'm going to go ahead and do that same process over and over and over. In fact, I actually popped a show on Sunday evening and pre-made a bunch of bundles, because it is a little bit time consuming to make your bundles and do your garland this way, but the effect is so magical in my opinion. It just looks so full and blooming and beautiful. Now I probably used 15 rolls total for this entire garland, and this was, I believe, a 9-foot garland from Walmart for $2.48, and I picked it up during Christmas time. So the next thing I want to do is take, and I'm just going to twist tie my little pieces of deco mesh onto my garland, and I'm starting in the center of my garland and working my way out. So that was the method to my madness for this one. And I'm going purple, pink, blue, and then white. And these are the colors that I had on hand in my craft stash. And I've actually been collecting this deco mesh for about 2 months now. Whenever I see it at my local Dollar Tree, I'll grab just a couple of rolls. And I did have a couple of rolls actually left over from last year. So I used probably about 10 to 15 of the little small Dollar Tree rolls, but this was a really large garland and I needed a lot of mesh. So don't quote me on 10 to 15, but I think it was probably somewhere in between there. I should have counted my little empty rolls probably. But anyway, go ahead and continue to add all of your mesh. And if you can't find mesh at Dollar Tree, don't panic. They have lots and lots of mesh at your local craft store. I've even saw it at Walmart. Okay, so here is what everything is looking like so far. This was a little bit of a tedious process, but I continued on just gathering my mesh, placing them in the garland, and then twist tying them to the back and trying to make it bright and colorful and fun and happy. I did one of these last year above my door, and it was actually around the time that we went on quarantine. I don't know if you guys remember this time from last year, but we've been sharing a lot of memories from that time, and it's just interesting to look back on all of it and just continued prayers and love sent out to everybody right now that is still experiencing some different changes. And I think everybody has experienced different changes along the way. So anyway, I'm going to continue on with this garland and just add in beautiful pieces of mesh as I go along until I get to the very end of the other side. Now for the next DIY part, I'm going to share with you guys how to make a quick and easy little Dollar Tree bow. I'm going to use all ribbon from the Dollar Tree, starting out with this purple kind of sheer ribbon, and I'm going to make a loopy bow and with my little bow maker. And this is the easy bow maker. You guys can order online off of Deco Exchange if you want, or get it at your craft store and use a coupon. I believe Michael's carries it, is what you guys have told me. I ordered it on Amazon last year, actually, when we weren't able to go to any stores, and I kind of paid a little bit too much. So anyway, go ahead and add in some pretty ribbon, whatever you have on hand, and then I'm going to make my bows about an inch shorter as I go along. So I also want to encourage you guys to make a little bit of a larger bow when you're pushing a bow into your deco mesh, because the deco mesh kind of like eats your bow. I've learned that over the years of making these kind of the hard way. So I'm layering in some little Dollar Tree egg ribbon and then some pretty pink sheer ribbon. I love these bow makers because they do help my hands, especially after I have been doing a lot of crafting with this garland. So it's going to hold on to it for me, and all I have to do is press it down there, and I don't have to pinch those bows together. Now I do have a huge bow video I will link in the description box of my YouTube video here, if you guys want to check out how to make a bow without a bow maker. So whatever suits your fancy, go ahead and go for it. Make a fabulous, beautiful bow, and that is going to really make your garland pop. So have fun with it, get creative, and go for it. The last little ribbon that I wanted to add too is this pretty little burlap ribbon. Dollar Tree always carries this. This is not a seasonal ribbon, and my store has been out forever, and they finally stocked it. So I went ahead and grabbed a roll of the polka dot ribbon and the chevron ribbon, and then the little lace ribbon. So anyway, I went from about a 7-inch to a 6-inch to a 5-inch, and this is more of like a 4-inch. And then you can just pull your little bow out and take a little pipe cleaner, and I'm going to pipe cleaner the entire bow together. And then the last step to my bow, also a little side note, I always try to use wired ribbon with my bows. So that's a really helpful thing to do. And then you want to really fluffy up your bow. So give it a nice good fluffing. The next part of this DIY is I'm going to take apart these little Dollar Tree signs. And these are the hanging signs. I love to buy these for every season because they're such a perfect size for garlands. And then I'm taking some popsicle sticks and just breaking them apart. And what I'm going to do with the popsicle sticks is I'm going to hot glue a piece of the little pipe cleaner to the back of these eggs and decor pieces, and then add in the pipe cleaner. Now I used halved pipe cleaners, but I found out the hard way that I should have used a full pipe cleaner. So if you're going to be popping these into this full of a deco mesh wreath, use a full pipe cleaner. You'll know what I'm talking about in just a sec. So I'm just taking apart all of my little hanging signs, and you get a lot of bang for your buck if you like to do crafts, if you're going to buy these hanging signs. Anyway, I'm going to take the pipe cleaner, add a dab of hot glue to the back of these, add in the pipe cleaner, and then press that down with the little popsicle stick. And there you have a perfect little pick, and it's like a little sign, and it just really is going to jazz up your garland or decor or wreath. And again, but don't forget, use the longer pipe cleaner. I was just using these half little pipe cleaners, but it made it really hard to get down into that mesh when I went to attach it into my garland. It wasn't impossible, but I will tell you it was pretty difficult. So anyway, learn from my mistake there. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to start in the center of my garland. I'm going to put my garland together here on the table just to give you guys a better idea. I'm going to start in the very center. So this is going to be in the center point of my door, and I'm going to add the biggest bow to the center. And then I'm going to work my way out. I'm going to try to space it as evenly as possible. Usually I put my garland together on my door so I can get an exact measurement, but it seemed to work okay, and I only had to replace 1 or 2 bow where it needed to be moved up or down. The next thing I like to do is give it a good fluffing as I go along. This little polka dot ribbon actually is some of the ribbon that I found at Walmart. I thought it was really cute and it was a pretty decent find. I think it was a couple of dollars. You get quite a bit on a roll. So I'm giving my bows some good fluffing as I continue to work my way down the garland, adding in my different little bows and making it so gorgeous and springtime fabulous. Now it's time to really jazz things up, and I'm just adding in those cute little bunny signs, and it ended up saying bunnies all welcome, but I probably should have reversed them and put all bunnies welcome. Kind of a hazard of the trade when you're crafting and decorating upside down for the camera. I'm also adding in some cute little Dollar Tree eggs, and here is how it came out. Oh my goodness, it's a burst of happy, hope, joy, and sunshine at my front door, and it matches in with the little wreath that I shared with you guys how to create a couple of videos back in my big DIY video for spring. And so hopefully you guys are just getting some positive, happy vibes. Bunnies welcome all, or all bunnies welcome, however you guys want to read the sign. I have to give myself some grace, truly. I love crafting and decorating, but sometimes I find that I do the funniest little things, especially when I'm trying to work upside down and backwards for the camera. But here is how it turned out with all the beautiful bows. It was a nice little springtime day. I had a bit of a breeze. A lot of you all asked me how I attach my garlands to my front door, and I will tell you that I have two little nails on either side of my house. Probably not the best idea as far as my house, the side of my house is concerned, but let me tell you, it really holds things up really well. I've tried to use command hooks before, and they seem to flop out, for me anyway, but I do put a lot on my garland. So here it's how it's looking all on my front porch. And the next DIY I'm going to share with you guys is how to fancy up a cute little lantern using the leftovers from your garland. So don't throw away those leftovers. We don't want to throw away any mesh or ribbons. So I did have a couple of bundles of mesh left over from my garland. And so I'm going to take those little bundles of mesh. And again, these are just rolled up in little burrito bundles, and they're about 12-inch mesh cuts. So I'm going to decorate this cute little lantern. The lantern I did find at Dollar General last year, and I'm just going to kind of cascade the mesh down the side of the little lantern slats, and the little pipe cleaners, I'm just twisting them in the back, as you guys can see, and then they're going to hang on to this fairly well. Now bear with me, it looks a little funky as we go along, and you're not going to see those pipe cleaners once we get the bows and everything attached. So I'm never too worried about what color my pipe cleaners are because they're always covered up. Okay, the next thing I want to do is take some of this Dollar Tree leftover ribbon. These were just the two little pieces that I had left over from my big garland, and I'm going to take a larger piece of ribbon and just tie that on to the top part of the lantern. So this is just a quick little hack how to make a super easy bow. This is not hard, you guys. Just take two little loops, tie a big piece of ribbon on top of that, fluff out those little loops that you had originally, and then I'm just going to make a quick little shoelace bow by tying a little bow right here on the side of it. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now the last thing I wanted to add to the top part of my lantern was some of these cute little Dollar Tree speckled eggs. Again, I'm kind of really trying to dig into my stash and finding things that are super adorable and Easter spring related that I can pop in to just jazz things up a little bit. So I'm hot gluing them to the center part of the bow, and then I'm going to hot glue a couple of other little eggs to the inside of the mesh, just again to give it some dimension and some Easter fabulousness, if that's such a thing. And I'm kind of cascading the colors in white and then the aqua and then the purple, and oh, I think it's just looking so poppin' and beautiful. And I did decide to use a couple of the little glitter vase fillers just to kind of even bring in some more of those colors. So there's yellows and beautiful aquas and purples and pinks, and I just love these colors. They just make me feel so happy, and they're so vibrant and springtime fabulous. And again, this is what my yard is going to look like in a couple of months as everything begins to bloom out for spring. Now I'm just going to pop in this cute little bunny, and I had picked this up, gosh, years ago, I believe at the Target dollar spot. He nestled perfectly into the base of this. This is also going to keep this lantern from flying off my garden bench. And then I just put a cute little happy Easter sign back there, and then I'm putting in some little vase fillers so it kind of looks like my bunny is kind of hiding back here in like a little nest of jelly beans. And I thought that was just so clever and fun. It's the little things, you guys. And then here is how it has all come together cohesively as a whole, with all these beautiful, vibrant colors, blooming and welcoming my guest home, especially my kiddos when they come home. I know it just makes them feel so happy to see my beautiful decor. They always comment on it, and even the neighbor kiddos like seeing it, I believe, as well. I know I love it driving up and just having this pop of color and happiness. So as always, I ask that you guys comment and let me know what was your favorite DIY in this video and which one will you be recreating. Now I do have a secret question in this video because I'm going to be announcing a new giveaway coming up as well. So stay tuned for that as we go along. And the next thing I wanted to share with you guys was a quick and easy little snack, or even I've been kind of adding these in to my dinner as I'm going on more of like a little bit of a healthy journey. So here's a quick and easy little snack idea I have for you all. I'm going to make some homemade bean dip, and I'm going to take and I'm just going to kind of score the top of this onion going horizontal and then back the other direction. And then I'm just going to chop up some onions. So this is just a quick little way you can chop up some onions, and I'm going to saute the onions for just a minute or so in the bottom of the pan and then add in my beans. So for the beans, I just chose 2 things of pinto beans, and I'm going to make kind of like some refried beans. I love this snack. I feel like it's really healthy and it's also really delicious. So I'm going to take the pinto beans and I'm going to pop them into my little Ninja bullet thing. My husband and kiddos had bought this a couple of years ago. I don't use it often, but I've really been trying to use it more. It's a great tool if you're needing to kind of chop things up quickly. So I'm going to continue to kind of saute my little onions here and let them, I don't get them like super brown, but I did want to saute them just a bit. And then I'm going to take my beans over here and just pop them onto the Ninja bullet. And again, this is a really great way if you like to make smoothies or you need to get something chopped up quickly. So check this out. I think this is so magical. I mean, that is so much easier than how I normally mash the beans, but mashing beans is fine too. Anyway, I just thought that was like a fun little thing to share with you guys. I love it when I end up using some of the kitchen gadgets that other people have bought or that my hubby has bought, even though I didn't think I would use them. Do you guys do that? Like maybe your kids or husband buy something, you're like, I'm never going to use that. And then you start using it and you absolutely love it. Anyway, I'm going to pop my little refried beans into here and then give it a good mixy mix. Now, of course, refried beans, you guys can buy a can of them and they're great as well. But I'm trying to get creative in my kitchen and use things I already have in my cupboard. And I did have these already in my cupboard. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to learn how to make some fun refried bean dip. So here we go. I added in actually 2 tablespoons of this salsa, and this is just some, inexpensive like little restaurant salsa that I picked up at Walmart. And I'm just going to give that a little bit of a mixy mix. Now you guys could always add anything that you want to jazz up your bean dip. but I thought that might make it kind of delicious. And I do also like to add a little bit of garlic salt, so just kind of a dash here. And then I also add some sriracha sauce, but that's because I really love it to be super spicy. So this is what I love for a nice little healthy snack, and my kiddos love this as well as my husband. In fact, he ate just a little bit too much of this and had to share that with me. So I also had to share with you guys, Benji Bear took another little adventure with us to the lake. We have a lake kind of close to our house that we can go walk on trails. It was a little bit overcast, but I just had to share with you guys the joy. I know so many of you love seeing Benji Bear, and he's just so funny, and it's so cute to watch.
Fun and fabulous crafty decor adventure. It is a true blessing and honor to have you all here. If you all are new, welcome. I'm Olivia with Olivia's Romantic Home. I love to share with you guys how you can make your home's boutique gorgeous on a budget, and I truly believe that you don't have to break the bank to have a fabulous, amazing home. Now, I just want to encourage you guys, wherever you're at in your life journey, keep going, keep putting one foot in front of the other. I recently broke my ankle, and I'm going to be out of commission for just a little bit longer than I was hoping, unfortunately, but fortunately I didn't have to have surgery, so that is a huge blessing as far as I can tell. Say a couple little prayers for me, and hey, I'm praying for you guys, and if you need prayers, drop a prayer request in the comment section of this video. This is a praying community, and I'm so thankful to have y'all here. And speaking of praying, listen, I have a lot of people ask me where I get those little prayer cards that I share on my Instagram story every single morning, and they are from Dollar Tree. They're in the checkout aisle, at least at our store. So you guys can grab some of those. I love to read a prayer card every single morning. It just helps me set my day, and at least I'm starting my day positively. So anyway, I just want to thank you guys also for your patience and for continuing to watch my videos as I do my PT and try to get back on my feet. Literally, I have a little knee rover that I scoot around the house with, which has been awesome. Let me tell you, I rolled over my toe and messed up one of my toes. So anyway, listen, wherever you're at, just keep going. Also, I'm a huge proponent of being kind online. Remember, this is a social media platform, so do your best to be kind, and also be kind if you're on your Facebook or Instagram. Somebody posts a cute picture of their grandkids or kiddos, give it a like, give it a heart, and be kind. You don't ever know how that is going to lift somebody's day, and when you put positive energy out there, that's going to come back to you. Do not be negative. I promise you it's not worth it, and you don't know what that person might be going through. You have no idea what's going on in somebody's life. So as we move into more of an online world, even with texting, just do your best to be kind. Even take a 24-hour breather before you type something that you might regret sending. So anyway, I just want to encourage you guys to keep going. I'm hugging all of your hearts so tight. I have more videos coming and new ideas. Hopefully I'm going to be able to implement once my ankle is healed and I can actually begin to walk again. So anyway, I love y'all. Have a gorgeous, fabulous, blessed day. And until our next video, remember, be kind to yourselves and be kind to one another. Talk to you guys very soon. Bye-bye.